with the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Now, today on the program, court strikes out Naira abuse charge against Cubana Chief Priest, orders him to pay 10 million Naira. President Tinubu to consult governors, organized private sector on new minimum wage, and later on we'll share this with you. EFCC denies promising former Accountant General of the Federation no prosecution over 109.4 billion Naira fraud. But I'm hanging out with the one, the only Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. BKO, I greet you.
Good evening, Citizen Jones. Good evening, viewers.
Yeah, we have dashing Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile. I greet you, madam.
Good evening.
Yeah. Okay, the team is ready. I hope you are. Now to our first story. First, for Nigerian socialite Pascal Chibuike Okechukwu, a.k.a. Cubana Chief Priest, reprieve has come at last. A federal high court in Lagos has struck out a charge against the celebrity bartender, Cubana Chief Priest, we can tell you. Now, Justice Kehinde Ogundare struck out the matter following adoption of terms of settlement between Cubana Chief Priest and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Cubana Chief Priest had the charge against him struck out, and he is to do rigorous sensitization campaign against Naira abuse. All is well that ends well. BKO.
Yes. As you see, the intention of the law is not always to put people in Islam. Sometimes you escape the slammer, but the experience will have taught you an exemplary lesson.
That's it.
So, in the case of Cubana, he didn't just walk free.
Okay.
There are conditions
Attached
to he's not going to jail.
Okay.
The court gave a short judgment, which it is that the defendant shall enter into a bond with the EFCC to be of good behavior and never indulge in any economic and financial crime or related offenses. That's one. The defendant shall engage in rigorous and intensive sensitization and or campaign against the abuse of coins and notes issued under the CBN Act as legal tender. The defendant shall bi-monthly, that's the defendant is Cubana Chief Priest. The defendant shall bi-monthly post on his various social media handles minimum of 2 video clips of his sensitization and campaign against abuse of Naira and sundry offenses. So the question is, for how long can he continue to post those videos that gentlemen and women, it's not right to spread the Naira at parties? This is what we had known him for many years. Nobody flings what Naira knows like him.
It will be for as long as the court pleases.
No, they didn't put a time ceiling to it. So we don't know whether if next month he fails to post more than 1 video, they are obligated to arrest him. So we don't know. Because if you give these conditions, then if he did not comply, what happens?
Wow.
Maybe they can go and rearrest him on account of not honoring his own side of the bargain. So it will be a good thing to see Cubana, who always says money na water. We see him standing before a camera and telling Nigerians that no, I am a changed Nigerian, and I want to please urge you not to spray or abuse Naira notes the way I had done repeatedly in the past. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing for him. At least it's better than going to jail.
That's it.
So
yeah.
I think even this campaign is catching on. I attended a friend, the funeral of a friend's mother in Ibadan.
Okay.
And we all behaved ourselves there, frankly, because this was a funeral that we had been preparing for months. But we all got there, not one person, as packed as the hall was.
Wow.
Not one of us had the cheek to spray. And the temptation was there. We had new notes.
But you resisted it.
No, because you won't know if somebody's recording you. So that is the thing, you know. And frankly, it's irritating to see Cubana bring out words of Naira notes and be throwing it the way, and people will be stepping on our currency. There's no currency that they step on like that. You step on it. That means to you it's as worthless as a sweet wrap on the floor. So we at least now things will change because nobody wants to go to jail cheaply. Bob Reckless has gone to jail on a very cheap note. Nigerians never imagined.
You mean Bob Risky?
Well, I choose to call him Bob Reckless because his actions were reckless in nature.
Okay.
So I don't know whether you like him that much.
No.
So it's not bad to give him a nickname. After all, Bobrisky is not his biological. Was not the name they gave him at birth.
No, I remember the justice. The first question is, are you a man or a woman?
You dare not say you are a woman.
He said, my lord, I'm a man.
Yes.
So that removed the anxiety there. Okay, BC, things change, and people change sometimes. As BKO said, the law is not to necessarily punish, but to help
mold behavior.
Mold behavior, yeah.
Well, I'm happy for him that he's not in jail, but I feel for Bobrisky, who was jailed for the same reason.
And they said different strokes.
And, different strokes for different clients. I think the fact that he bargained with the EFCC helped him. And the truth is that he has already changed. We saw him yesterday at Davido's wedding, and he behaved himself. even though what was being spent wasn't even Naira, yet from the mien of his face, you could see that this guy was too careful.
Yeah,
he didn't even attempt. Yes,
so that's him.
Yes,
when it's the bundles that he throws at people.
That was then. That was where
the born again.
But the born again Cubana was just looking and respecting himself, respecting everybody because he understands the implication of his action. But then let me let you know that Nigerians have also found a way out of this Naira issue. They now print something like in form of Naira, but not Naira. So what they tell you is that when you want to, they tell you to transfer your original Naira to the account of somebody, then they, in exchange for that fake Naira or whatever Naira. So that is what you spend. What you have transferred.
More like telling you, spring cannot leave us.
Yeah, something like that. But
that way they have escaped any kind of...
Exactly, because they have not abused the Naira.
Even what the law says is that notes and coins issued under the CBN Act.
That's it.
The dollar was not issued
under CBN.
Those fake...
The dummy Naira,
are not issued under the CBN Act. So you can spray those dummy Naira notes
and
get away with it.
A celebrant will smile.
Yeah, because you will have transferred that amount, the real value to an account. Because I went to a party 2 weeks ago, and that was what we did.
Wow.
Yes, we transfer.
I'll report to you.
No, we did not spray. We did not spray Naira.
They say, my sister is in Jebu.
Yes, I'm in Jebu.
Out. Ban parties.
Oh, see, this is the boost. When Donald Cynthia was governor.
Okay. He banned the thing,
Do you know that they traveled down to Ilorin to come and do party?
Because of night party. Because he banned he banned night
from those
night party.
They traveled down to Ilorin. And I'm like, kilo day.
It's in our gene.
Because I went to late General Diaz's town and I saw his hotel. I shook my head. Okay. Let's go to our next story. Efforts to rescue the national currency, the Naira, and resolve forex liquidity must not be spared. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has directed deposit money banks, DMBs, and international money transfer operators, IMTOs, to pay all diaspora remittances in Naira. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso reaffirmed the determination of the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, to subdue inflationary concerns through conventional methods. According to American businessman Ross Perot, a weak economy leads to a weak nation. The Naira must be rescued. Or what do you say?
Yes, yeah. We have to rescue the Naira. And I also want to note that I think the Naira has been stable for quite some time. I think whatever the CBN is doing is working. At least we've not experienced the kind of volatility that was in place before now.
That's it.
I think for about 2-3 months now, at least we can gauge the value, the exchange rate, which is good for business, really. And also the difference between the government window and the black markets, so to say. I think they are closing up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one is 1,380, another is about 1,500 or 480. So it's gradually closing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still want to put it that this is a kind of a stopgap to the problem, because it's not likely to solve the problem. Anyway, I don't even think, I don't even think they think it will solve the problem on the long run. I think what we need to do is to increase our earnings of forex. That is the
and provoke an aggressive production.
Yes, that's the way we can earn more. Without increasing export goods, so that we can earn foreign exchange. I think that is the ultimate, and I think that is what government should focus on. Yes, then we appreciate the fact that now we have gold added to our forex revenue generation. We just hope that that process will be quickened, that we'll be able to earn more from that aspect. But I also think that we need to start thinking of also adding value to our products, things we produce here, that we can also export. We should be able to go back to the days when Nigeria was exporting cocoa and making serious money from the produce.
Basically, you make me remember that. Biko, you also remember that the Naira attained a commanding height years and years ago. Yes. We can gradually go back there. Yes, if we do the right things as we are doing now.
We have to make our currency stronger. The biggest shame for me is that CFA that we used to mock.
We used to mock.
They would say, "Oh, look at Citizen Jones. He's a millionaire in CFA and a cobonier in Naira."
Oh boy!
We were
even our brothers CD.
Yes, it was like that too. But suddenly the CFA is stronger than the Naira. Our neighbors, their currencies are stronger than ours, and it is causing all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
Today, Nigerians see a great incentive in trucking grains across the border because they will earn foreign exchange. And the money they will earn is stronger than our Naira. So the incentive to sell within our country has been taken away by the fact that our currency is now weaker than the CFA.
That's it.
So whatever the CBN is doing, and I'm begging Cardoso, because initially when this floating of the Naira was done, we were on like 900 to the dollar.
Yeah.
But today we are around 1,480, 1,500. That's not where we want to be.
Yes.
You cannot solve some of the problems. Remember that President Tinubu had to direct the customs to release some trucks of grains that were seized as they were trying to truck across the border.
That's it.
You know, into Niger Republic, because their currency is now stronger. I never thought that in my lifetime the CFA, as used by our neighbors, will become stronger than the Naira.
You mustn't.
The president intervened
I'm sure.
on the condition that those grains will be sold in the open markets here in Nigeria. You know, those guys will have lost everything.
Yeah.
But as a listening father, he said, no, release those trucks, but they must be sold here in Nigeria. We can't defeat hunger. We can't defeat food insecurity when what we produce gets taken.
Carried out.
Yes. They are going to create scarcity here. They're going to create scarcity here. So we must find a way to show up the value of our currency so that, first and foremost, those are our neighbors. Our currency must be
will not have the last laugh.
Yes, it must be stronger than yes. Otherwise, we won't solve this problem. People are saying, open the border, open the border. It won't solve the problem because those guys, in the past, we used to get produce from there because our currency was stronger. But to do that now, it will be at your own disadvantage because you will spend more. So there is every reason why our currency, we must make sure our currency is stronger. I like the fact that the CBN is trying to reduce Naira liquidity in the hands of these banks. A lot of them have tons of Naira, and they use this Naira to buy foreign exchange and then speculate on, look at movement in the foreign exchange market, continue that transaction, that attitude. We don't want that. So by saying, okay, pay in Naira, they are reducing the Naira liquidity in their hands, which means, yes, that's one of
a lot of Naira will
yes,
them.
And it can also help in fighting inflation, because if you have excess liquidity, it's an enabler to inflation. So I'm happy that they are doing that. These banks, check their balance sheets. They are not lending to the real sector. They are not interested in you and I. If you look at forex gains that they record on their balance sheet, you will see that they have simply been trading in foreign exchange, and that's where the bulk of their money is coming from. Banks all over the world make a lot of money from lending. In fact, that's what banks are about. But these ones here, they are not prepared to lend to anyone. They are not prepared.
Basically, when they say memory is very unkind to an old man, you remember when you took the Naira out of this country, you didn't need to exchange it. No. The Naira was strong.
You didn't need to, you just simply take your card, your ATM card, loaded with Naira, you take it, you travel out, and you spend it. I can tell you that even some of the things I'm wearing now, I bought through that. Okay. So but then that time is gone, because really you didn't have to look for a dollar or anything, because you know that you will always,
because we're doing
the value
things right.
And it's not outrageous. The difference between the official market window and the black market wasn't that great. In fact, there was a time in this country that people were sending their children abroad to study, and they just give them their ATM cards. Once they collect their salaries in Nigeria, those guys have access to that money and they are able to spend.
Who was abroad said anytime the Naira was remitted to them there, they go through party.
Yeah, because our currency
was So really, I think I agree with BKO on the fact that we shouldn't allow goods here to be taken out of the country. But what I'm saying is that we need to shore up our production in the agri sector. We need to focus especially on that, because I think we have an advantage in that area, and we have the opportunity, we have the land and all of that. So maybe we should.
When we even simply got lazy.
And we are not we just stop doing all of these things.
The ball.
What's the problem with us? Now, do you know a lot of Nigerian companies have gone to open warehouses along the borders? What do? They buy paddies, rice paddy from foreign farmers.
Yes.
And then bring here to use in their integrated rice farms.
Yeah.
Paddy is difficult to access. That's why you find Lagos State, for example, they have a rice, they built a rice mill. They don't have paddy to kick the rice mill. Kick it off. They don't have the quantum of paddy that they need. They have no access to it. Everybody is looking for paddy. During the Buhari regime, they stacked up pyramids of rice.
Was it
from rice that they brought all the way from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger? Some of the people were actively involved in that scam. They told me that the rice came from different parts of West Africa. And we were deceiving our people. We stacked up pyramids of rice that we didn't produce here. Why? We can grow enough rice.
I hear we have as many as 20, 30 varieties of this
We
stuff.
can grow enough rice to feed not just ourselves, but our neighbors.
Yes.
At least. How is China, that is the most, I said China, India, the most populated country in the world now, how are they able to feed themselves despite that population?
Yeah.
We have the best climate that God can give anyone is what He has given us. And our soil is so fertile, alluvial. But we are not taking advantage of the opportunities there. A state like Bayelsa can feed half of this country simply by growing rice.
Oh, yeah.
And there are many other states like that. But we just felt that because we had oil, and even the oil we are not producing enough.
Yes.
During the Jonathan era, we were able to produce even in excess of 2 million barrels a day.
Okay.
What is wrong with us? Right now, we will struggle to do 1.2 million. That's why we are not earning enough. Look, as much as people are saying, let's diversify, I want to see that happen. But I can tell you that if we can do 2.5 million barrels a day, we will earn enough foreign exchange that will help us to bring down against the dollar, ensure that our currency is much stronger. We'll be able to achieve that because we earn more. We can earn double what we are earning now.
Let's make some money now. Go on a commercial break. We should be back very shortly. Please stay with us.
and cable. Great quality, now with the new look.
Join Arash Keswani, Dio Israel, Dr. Ola Brown, Mahmoud Tukur, Toby Ajayi, Nod Motors, Shijibumi Ogundele Sujimoto, Joyce Awoshika, Nia Desoya, Kulashoria, and many other experienced trainers and facilitators at the Enterprise Skills Development Training Program for business owners, business managers, and entrepreneurs from Monday 8th to Friday 12th July 2024 from 9 a.m. daily in Lagos. Event is free for everyone, but registration is mandatory. Training will be declared open on Monday, July 8th by His Excellency Abdullahi Ganduje and His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Register now on www.youngprogressives.ng/mybusinessandi. For partnership and exhibition, call 0806-628-8642 or 0816-676-5045. You can email us at events@youngprogressives.ng. Announcer Dr. Dio Israel, National Youth Leader, APC.
All right, folks, welcome back. Let's go to our next story. You know, discussions on a national minimum wage require the involvement of all and sundry. President Bola Tinubu said he was consulting with 30 state governors and members of organized private sector, OPS, before arriving at a figure that will be submitted to the National Assembly in the form of an executive bill that constitutes the new national minimum wage. Time to grab the bull by the horns and lay the ghost of minimum wage to rest.
Well, first of all, the first thing that came to my mind when I read this story is the fact that the so-called 62,000 Naira agreement may not necessarily be the final agreement.
Okay. Because
I've read in places where state governors have expressed reservations about that figure, saying that they won't be able to afford it. And if you look at the history of minimum wage in Nigeria, you realize that the federal government, when the federal government even awards a minimum wage, many state governments don't comply. Even as we speak, there are still states that do not pay the 30,000 Naira minimum wage, and there are many local governments that don't pay that minimum wage as it is now. So, which means that really the president is doing the right thing by consulting with states. Yes, because now, well, we can talk about federation. This is a good place to talk about federation. Under normal circumstances in the federation, that is what should be done, because at least the president doesn't have the power to pay salaries at the state and local government level. But my fear is that the state government may not agree to that 62,000 Naira. And already the organized private sector, speaking through NECA, has said that they cannot go beyond 62,000 Naira. You know, Labour is still telling us that it's on 250,000 Naira. So the whole thing is still somehow. But I just hope that by the time everybody finishes this talk, we will be able to come to a figure that is agreeable to all parties. And not just that, then the parties will effect that law when it comes to be. So that we don't go back to, you know, where we are coming from. And because I think that is the most important thing now, that whatever is agreed upon should be binding on all parties.
BKO, you are wondering if the debate on the national minimum wage is winnable.
This one is not about winning a debate. It's about determining
An acceptable, agreeable?
Yes, what figure is right?
Okay.
What figure is right to the federal government may not necessarily be right to the federating units, the states, the local governments, and the organized private sector. This thing is a tripartite, it's supposed to be a tripartite agreement.
Yeah.
The federal government representing itself and the states, labor standing alone as one leg of the tripod, and the organized private sector standing alone. So, but Labour has continued to push the federal government, push very hard, as if this is a decision for the federal government alone. You see, they've been talking, it's the president that they've been
calling,
piling pressure on. But even if the federal government says, I can pay the 250 that they're asking for, which I believe they can pay, it's not a decision for the president alone.
Yeah.
The law as it is now says there shall be a minimum wage. And that the Minister of Labour has the obligation to enforce it, meaning to ensure that all stakeholders pay the minimum wage. What we now have in a country is a deregulated minimum wage structure, whereby we decide on a minimum wage, it becomes law, but people don't comply with the law. Remember NLC begging the governor of Abia State the other day that he should please pay the minimum wage. Till today, they are not paying minimum wage of 30,000 naira in that state. You are begging him. The story is there. That can be fact-checked. There are states today that are still paying 18,000.
18,000.
They don't see anything wrong.
Upon years ago.
Yes. So we had 30,000 after years of debate. It was actually during the Buhari regime that the law, in terms of the time ceiling that must be met, was breached. It's supposed to be every 5 years.
Okay.
President Buhari couldn't do it when he was supposed to do it. Jonathan came up with a minimum wage in 2011. Ideally, by 2016, we should have a new minimum wage.
Okay.
But we didn't have a new minimum wage until years after. So the law had been breached in that respect. Now, even when he agreed that, okay, let's have 30,000 naira as minimum wage, many states are not paying. And the reason is obvious. When Ajero talks about 400 and something thousand and then 250,000, what they fail to realize is that every time you increase minimum wage, every staff, including a level 17 officer, gets a pay rise.
Okay.
Because they will not want level 1 to 7 that are often affected by the minimum wage. They will not want them to catch up with their seniors, their guys. So the best thing, everybody gets
and understandably so too, because even those ones too are affected by whatever it is in the that is happening in the economy.
I know. So a minimum wage triggers wholesale salary increment.
Yeah.
With the attendant consequences on the finances of states, local government, and the federal government. So it's just about what percentage you get.
That's it.
Yes. They will look, and the higher you are on the ladder, the lower the percentage increment that you get. some will get like 5%. Even that one, they usually debate it for months.
Aye.
So at the end of the day, once you do minimum wage, everybody who is a worker in that sector gets to benefit. So when you are thinking of minimum wage, you are not just thinking of what you will pay workers on the lower rungs of the ladder. You are thinking of the fact that everybody will get something. And that has huge financial implications. So that is why I can see these states. I'm not in any way supporting the governors, you know. I think that the governors ought to do better. But I can sense that some of these governors believe that whatever extra money they are earning now, which provides opportunity for to deliver greater infrastructure and all that, could in fact be wiped away by a new minimum wage if it is not well thought out.
Yeah.
It's a fact that, look, the wage bill will become really, really bloated. So there's no doubt about it that this is something that has to be carefully considered.
That's it.
And I'm happy the same labor that used to be very truculent, they are now saying, oh, we are now going on strike. Let's wait for the president. After all, President Buhari, what was suggested to him was not what he eventually approved. He added to it. Let us see President Tinubu may in fact add to it. Because people had been pushing that maybe they should go on strike. They should go and shut down the national grid again. Which if no Ribadu and others allow that to happen, it will show that they are grossly incompetent. If you permit anybody to lay his hand on the national grid again,
quickly,
it will show that you don't know what you are doing.
This is not to wish away the inflationary trends that will follow it.
Oh, that one is a given. Because those women in the markets, they are waiting.
And your landlord,
you know, remember what happened?
My landlord,
you are an old man. Remember what happened with Udoji Award? Remember how they... So we were small then.
Yeah.
But at that time, I could read a newspaper. I may not be able to thoroughly understand what I'm reading. But I knew that the Udoji Award triggered inflation on a scale that Nigeria had never witnessed.
It was a phase.
Market women too were increasing prices and all that, you know, because they felt, no, with this Udoji Award, public servants had become a lot richer.
And you see, the money we are talking about concerning Udoji, 300-400 naira. Big money at the time. All right, let's go to our last story, not the least though. You know, the job of the prosecutor is to do justice, and justice is served when a guilty man is convicted and an innocent man is not. For the anti-graft agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the first big hurdle to cross is denying and dismissing the allusion to a promise that it would not prosecute a former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, who is alleged to have been involved in a 109 billion naira fraud. An official of the EFCC, Mahmoud Tukur, has told an Abuja court that there was no such promise. Recall that Ahmed Idris is standing trial on a 14-count charge alongside Geoffrey Akindele, Mohammed Kudu Usman, and a firm. To the EFCC, the matter is still on the front burner, MBKO.
Yes, and I'm praying that the EFCC will make a very big breakthrough on this matter. When I talk about a big breakthrough, that is conviction. Because it makes absolutely no sense to spend all this time on this matter and justice is not served.
Yeah.
And what we increasingly see in our country is the fact that big people capable of hiring the best lawyers, they often don't get jailed. I don't know how it happens. I don't know. I've heard the EFCC chairman talk about the black legs in the EFCC among his investigators, among prosecutors, working for the enemy. The enemy in this case are people who steal from you and I. But in this case, I want to see justice served. Look, we can say that a man is not guilty until so pronounced by a court of law. But in November 2022, the witness in this matter said Idris was confronted with facts and he returned $900,000 voluntarily, which is now an exhibit. He also said out of the 84.7 billion that was shared among some government officials, 32 billion has so far been recovered. The witness also told the court how Idris hired his ex-aide Akindele as a consultant to distribute 84.3 billion naira out of the 84.7 billion.
What a job.
And that Akindele later gave Idris 4.2 billion in appreciation for his engagement as a consultant. Look at these funny people talking about billions as if it's just a few naira.
But you know, the mathematics now, BC also knows. A billion is a million in a million places.
That's why it's amusing to me. And this same fellow, in December 2022, the commission obtained a court order for him to forfeit assets on interim basis, including $899,900, $304,490,000, and 15 properties in Kano and Abuja linked to the crimes that we are talking about here. In Nigeria, big people steal money as if they have a life in reserve.
Or as if money is going out of fashion.
No, it's not as if they steal like they have so many years extra. We expect a man, maximum maybe will live 100 years. These ones still like they are going to be able to live for 200 years.
Yes.
Because look at the kind of money that we are talking about here.
109.
One person, $899,000.
Okay.
What are you going to do with that kind of money? It's crazy. I mean, I can't believe this. All of this money, one person. I mean, something must be wrong with our leaders. And this is a man that they gave him extension. He had finished his term. He was already an old man that should have been allowed to go and be playing with his grandchildren.
Yeah.
They gave him an extension. Now we've seen that the person that was given an extension is somebody that thoroughly didn't deserve to have even been hired in the first place for the job. It's terrible.
Well, this is so. The EFCC has come out clean. Look, he didn't get any promise from us. What
Yorubas will call Ogbeni handicap. Like he thought that they would release him.
Yes.
So he confessed, released some of the money in his custody in exchange for non-prosecution. And they said, no, we never made that. How do you even go to court to even say that they promised you that they will not put you on trial?
109 billion.
How do you have the cheek to go to court and say they promised me that they will not put me on trial? So all of the confessions that you made, in the course of your
count for nothing.
What's it called? This grilling that they
did. Yeah.
So you are now saying that the court should render the statement that you made invalid
That's
because they promised you. You didn't say they tortured you to confess. You said they promised you that they will not send you to jail. So that because they promised you and they've reneged on the promise, you are now saying that they should, that statement.
Well, see, as BKO said, I want to see the anti-graft agency go the whole hog.
No, I even think this trial is really is so unfortunate, and as a Nigerian, it gives you just have a bad impression of our justice system.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't even know why this should be the issue that the court should be talking about now. Mind you, this is not just coming up today. This has been known since 2023.
Yeah.
This issue of whether he confessed in exchange for a favorable settlement and the rest. Why should that even be part of what we should still be discussing now? Because the court is still talking about the fact that the EFCC should convince the court that the claim of the, how do they describe the offender? How is it the defendant? The defendant is not true. So that is what EFCC has been proving all this while. So, and the Yorubas will say if it takes 30 years for somebody to prepare madness, for how long?
To practice madness.
For how long will he now enter madness? Because the markets are really displaying that. Because this one you are still talking about.
If you practice for 30 years, so how many years?
They are still talking about if it is appropriate for EFCC to continue to try this man based on the fact that he said that he gave some confessions based on the understanding that there will be a plea bargain, there will not be a trial. So it tells you that, you are talking about rich people not being punished. That is my focus in my PhD thesis. And I realized that, in fact, the police, every one of them confessed that in Nigeria, it is almost impossible.
They say he falls out of line.
Yeah, to get a rich man punished for their offenses. And they tell you that that is what they tell you that is why they are rich. That's why they are rich, because money answers all things.
Okay.
And in this country, they know how.
That's why Akpabio.
Yes.
That's why the Senate President Akpabio said, "What money cannot do, more money
we do." Yeah. So.
Okay,
that's the problem.
We must go. But
Johnson's brother. What money cannot do,
more money we do.
Okay, it's all right. Let's pack it all in, but not before thanking Abajide Kolade Ochitoji.
You have to look at your scripts to know my name.
No vex.
Okay.
Biko, many thanks for your time. And Dr. Olabisi Deji Olutile, I thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you missed any part of this show, not to worry. At 11 later tonight, a repeat broadcast will take your airtime. And then on Sunday, of course, we expand the field for you from between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m. Just to tell you as well, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.